So, how do you get your client to tell you her real budget? First, you have to understand that your job as the salesperson is to make the prospect comfortable talking to you about her budget and other numbers. So you have to make sure you're comfortable talking about the budget and numbers as well. If you project any negative feelings onto your prospect about how you may feel about asking about budget, like if you sit all cross-legged and kind of hesitate when you ask about it, that's going to project onto your customer, and she's going to feel uncomfortable talking to you about it too. So you have to get right with the world on this one first and make sure that you're comfortable with it. You then ask the customer as calmly and naturally as you asked her everything else, from her name to what type of project she wanted. You ask her, what is your budget? You don't ask her, do you have a budget? Because that's going to give you a yes or no, which is not what you want. What you want is a number. So what is your budget? And again, you ask this as calmly as you've asked everything else, like it's totally perfectly normal for you to ask this question. The fantastic thing about this question is there's only 3 ways the prospect can answer. First, she's going to say, I don't know. Or she's going to tell you, I'm not comfortable telling you that. The third way that she could possibly answer is with a number. Now, if she says, I don't know, or I'm not comfortable, essentially it's the same exact thing to you because you're not getting a number. You handle them the exact same way. You say to her, based on what you've told me so far, you should expect to pay a professional anywhere from $5,000 to $12,000. And then you stop talking. Now what this does is essentially it puts all of the ownership of the money onto the prospect, because you've said to her, based on what you've told me so far. You're basically telling her that if she tells you anything else or something changes, that those numbers could change, so you're not locked into anything. But everything's based on what she's been telling you to this point. Then you next say, if you work with a professional, you should expect to pay anywhere from this number to this number, giving yourself a really healthy range to work within. This lets her know if she's talking to anybody else, if she hears something much lower or much higher, she should question it. If she answers on the third thing, she tells you a number and she says, I expect to pay $10,000. If that number is unreasonably low, you're not done. All you say to her is, how did you arrive at that answer? Now, this gives you a sense for if she's been getting information from bad resources, if she's missing the point somewhere, or she doesn't totally understand what it is that she's buying. This gives you an opportunity to educate her and explain to her where the numbers come in and where she could save some money if she changed some of the things that she wanted. She could also give you a number that was the same as what you were expecting, or a number that was way higher. Either way, if she's giving you a number, at least you know what you're working with. Now, if you give her the response of, you should expect to pay between A and B, she can only respond in one of 3 ways. She can respond with, oh my gosh, that is too high, there's no way I can possibly pay that. Or she can respond with, okay, that's what I expected to hear. Or she can respond with, really? That's it? Here's a check, when do we start? Now if she responds with the, oh my gosh, that's too expensive and I couldn't possibly pay that, you're not done yet. You respond the same way you did if somebody gave you an unreasonably low number, if they gave you a number. The response is, what did you expect to hear? And this gives the dialogue an opportunity to start on the conversation of money. And it gives you an opportunity to educate her on what she should be expecting to pay and why. If she responds with, okay, that's what I expected to hear, then you're in good shape. And if she responds with, here's a check, when can we start? You know that means you're charging not enough. So raise your prices. So now you know exactly how to get your clients to tell you really what they expect to pay, what their real budget is. You just have to get right with yourself and make sure that you're comfortable talking about numbers and money, and you're not projecting any negativity onto your customers. So make sure that you understand your job is to make it comfortable and okay for your prospects to talk about the budget, and they'll tell you exactly what it is.